Following video is initial inspection of a Gibsonette model GA-8. Pretty interesting little amp, first one I've had in the shop. Let's take a look around the back. I've already removed the rear cover so we can see the chassis. Unfortunately, somebody's been doing a little bit of butchering on that rear panel, as well as the control panel. There were some holes drilled here and there's some little caps in there now. Chassis has some added filter capacitors. They're not super secure, but for testing I'll leave them. Power cord is interesting. Somebody used a green cord, kind of looks like it came off a Christmas tree. There is some glass down here in the front corner. One of the tubes had been broken and it's been replaced. The other thing I noticed is wires are not connected to the speaker. So for initial test, I'm going to go ahead and pull the chassis. Here's a better shot of the chassis. You can see we got some of those bumblebee coupling caps. Those have to go. I'm also going to have to do something about these filter capacitors. Also looked these up. He used 33 microfarad for everything. The main filter cap was a 20-10-10-10. So we may be a little over filtered. So it does have a big beautiful Utah speaker. I checked the voice coil with my ohm meter and it looks good. So that's promising. Alright, let's hook this thing up and see if we can get any sound through it. I brought the amp up on a variac, sitting at about 110 volts. Using a looper for the input, I just jumped a speaker across those leads. I have no audio. Some rumble in the pot. That's about it. So maybe the little 12AX7 is dead, or maybe those bumblebee caps are open. So inspecting these bumblebee caps closely, I see cracks down the side of them. And if you look at the volume pot, I've got almost 12 volts sitting on that pot, indicating leakage through those caps. So at this point, I'm going to stop, notify the customer what's going on and what's going to take to get the amp going, and we'll have a follow-up video. Alright, the game plan is to recap this amplifier before I go any further. These big brown filter caps kind of hanging in there are all coming out. I've landed 2 standoffs for a Cub 1 power supply board, so that guy was sitting there nicely. Bumblebee caps are coming out. I've got a couple sprays to go in their place. After I replace all that, then we'll retest. So remember on our initial test we could not get a signal through the amp, but we could hear the volume control rumbling. I got looking at this 12AX7. I was like, man, something does not look right with this tube. And sure enough, right there should be a pin. It's missing. So I looked in the socket. There it is. So the pin's broken off. Hopefully it's not seized into the socket. So I need to get that out of there. We have to install a new 12AX7 before testing. So yes, the pin came right out. I don't see any damage to the socket. So there's no need to replace that. Let's continue. Alright, there's the pile of brown caps that have been replaced. Cub 1 board is on the chassis, ready to be wired. Alright, it's time to pause and test the amplifier. Got the preamp section all recapped. Sprague orange drops installed. Still need to change this little cathode cap going to the preamp tube. There is a pile of parts. I'm going to bring this amp up on a variac, have a looper for an input. Let's see if we get anything through it now. Here we go, she's warming up. Look at there. Alright, so that solved the initial problem. I need to go through, check resistors. I'm going to change that big green Christmas tree power cord. We're getting close. So as you may recall, The speaker was hooked up direct to the output transformer. So these leads had been extended and the soldering wasn't the greatest thing in the world. What I'm concerned about is these leads being stressed. When somebody tries to remove the chassis, you could actually pull them right out of the transformer. So I'm going to take these leads, put them through this rubber grommet. I'm going to remove this cap and install an aluminum plate, and then I'll put this RCA jack in, and we will have a plug-in speaker just like they do on the Champ. It's an RCA type, so the speaker plugs in like they do on a Champ. Let's see what that internal speaker sounds like. Plugged into the RCA jack, I'm using a looper as the input, and now we're listening to the internal speaker. She's working great. Time to reassemble. Alright, there's the chassis back in place. You can see how close those tubes are to that speaker. You got to be pretty careful about that. Last thing I need to do is pop on the back cover, and she's back on her way to the owner.